Hi there, and welcome to the latest edition of Who's Zoomin' Who, presented by Team Monarch, partner of the Virginia Lottery. I'm Ted Alexander, and today we're talking ODU football with Monarch offensive lineman Isaac Weaver. Isaac, thanks for the time.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, first things first. Usually we see the flowing locks coming out from underneath the helmet when you're playing offensive line for ODU. A little haircut recently. I have a feeling that was a bigger deal for you than for many. Tell us about it.
Yeah, originally I was planning on getting it cut after the season was over, but obviously, not playing right now. And yeah, I just thought it was kind of time for a change. So one day, just kind of went in there, told him it was time to cut it off, and haven't looked back since. I think it's been a nice change up for sure.
How long had you gone between haircuts?
I guess it's probably been since I got to college since I really took any real length off. But I think I had to get it trimmed up every once in a while just to keep it a little presentable.
Is there something just sort of about the offensive line mentality where you just let it go with the hair and you let it go on the field as well?
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, I guess you see a lot of those guys in the league, or a lot of guys throughout college football. They've got that hairstyle too. I guess there's got to be something to it, right? It can't just be a coincidence.
When did you first realize that you were pretty good at football? You played your high school ball in Marietta outside of Atlanta. When did you realize you're pretty good at this?
I guess it might have been in high school when I realized I had a chance to play in college. I think it was my junior year, maybe my sophomore year, when I started getting looks from colleges, and that's kind of when I realized that I actually had a shot to play in college. Obviously, growing up, you have that dream that you want to play, as football for as long as you can, or play whatever sport you do, play for as long as you can. But I think it was probably my sophomore, junior year of high school when teams started, reaching out to me, and I kind of realized, oh, I might be able to do this for a little bit longer.
Isaac Weaver, the high school player in Georgia, find his way to Old Dominion in Virginia?
I guess it was just part of the recruiting process. I'll be honest, I hadn't really heard much about ODU before I got recruited, but once they reached out to me and I ended up taking my visit, I just kind of fell in love with the place. I mean, it was when I got on campus, I just kind of realized it was the spot that I wanted to be at. I think I committed pretty early here in like June before my senior year even started. That's just because I kind of had a really good feeling about it.
There might be some future Monarchs listening as we do this, Isaac. It can be kind of daunting, the whole recruiting process. Any tips you have for young student athletes that are just getting into that process?
My tips would be to take as many visits as you can, because you're never really going to know if you would like to go to a school until you actually see it in person. I mean, you're going to be at that school for 4 to 5 years. You better enjoy where you're going. So visit it, get to talk to the coaches, talk to the players, and really gather as much information as you can before you make a decision. But I think personally, like once you find a place that you like, I think you're just going to know that it's the spot for you. At least I hope that everyone has that luxury, I guess.
Football aside, what's your favorite thing about Old Dominion?
I think it's the people. I think I've built a ton of awesome relationships here that I wouldn't trade for anything. And I think that at the end of the day, that's something that, you really can't beat for sure.
Now, you obviously get it done on the football field, but in the classroom as well. You've got your degree in biology, going after your master's in public health. Any tips for being able to juggle all those things, the athletics and the academics?
It just takes time management. I think it's definitely doable, especially with all the help that we get with our awesome academic staff. They really have to make sure that you're on top of it. But at the end of the day, it really falls on your own shoulders. And if you just take time to make sure you plan out your semester and make sure you're on top of everything, there's good things will come.
With all that is going on in our world right now, how fascinating is it to be studying public health? We're all kind of studying public health, aren't we?
Yeah, I recently actually I guess switched my master's program. I'm in the exercise science program now, but I'd taken I think a semester's worth of the classes, and it was and this was right when COVID, all the COVID stuff began to happen. I remember sitting in actually my epidemiology class last spring, and our teacher talking to us about COVID-19 and stuff like that. And I remember thinking at the time, like, not, I guess kind of brushing it off as like, oh, like, I guess it won't be that big of a deal. But she kept on saying, oh no, this is, serious. School might get shut down and everything. And everyone's kind of looking around like, oh, really? Like, is that actually going to happen? And then all of a sudden here we are, obviously living in, what we're living in right now. So it was definitely interesting to hear, someone who was so knowledgeable in that field beginning to talk to us about the early stages of it.
Life has been weird for everybody, including all the football players on the Old Dominion football team. How have you, as one of the senior leaders on the team, a captain multiple times, how have you helped the guys through the fact that for the first time in probably their lives, they aren't playing football in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a huge challenge. I mean, we came here with, intent to play football, and that's what everyone on our team loves to do. So when something like that gets taken away, it gets really difficult. But I think the best way to kind of get through that is to preach that, we're going to get through it. We're going to be fine, and we're going to be better for it. We get to practice right now. We get to lift hard. Like Deej or Coach Galt has, a great program for us in the weight room right now. And the coaches are putting, getting the time to install the offense and the defense and everything that's new. And we're getting some great work out on the field. And I think just reminding everybody that, hey, like, we're going to be okay and we're going to be better for this is a great place to start.
What's it like playing football in front of the fans at Kornblau Field at SB Ballard Stadium?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's probably the best environment in Conference USA, at least. And that's like that. That's what you do it for. You do it for game days, and game days really aren't the same without fans there. Or they wouldn't be the same without fans there. It's awesome. It gives you an energy that you can feed off of. Like, when the fans get up there on third down, I'm not even out on the field on the defensive third downs, but I'll be standing there on the sideline waving my hands in the air, trying to get everybody pumped up, because I know that I'm getting juice on the sideline from it. So I know for a fact that those guys who are on the field trying to stop the other team's offense, they're getting hyped up from it as well.
How unique is the bond between offensive linemen, or how unique does that bond have to be a successful offensive line?
I think it's probably one of the most unique positions in all of sport, and that bond goes to show, exactly how unique it is. I mean, we spend a ton of time together, and you're not going to have a successful offensive line unless 5 people are working together as one, and that really isn't the case anywhere else in sport, which I think is really, really pretty cool. I mean, but it just comes with, spending all that time together in meeting rooms and on the field and in the weight room, and, going out to eat and stuff, the big guys like to go eat. So, but it's just, it's definitely an interesting group of people, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right. You're going to a place where you can get as much and whatever you want. What are you putting on the plate? What are you loading up?
I think I'd have to just go with find myself a good wing deal and load up on wings, see how many I can take down. But it's hard to go on with that. I mean, everyone loves wings, right?
Are you a boneless guy, a bone in? What's your flavor?
Oh, I got to go bone in. And then, absolutely got to go bone in. And then I'm not too picky with the flavors, but I'll take a little heat on the wings, get a little spicy in there.
Now, here's the question that separates the pros from the non-pros. You go blue cheese or ranch?
I'm more of a ranch guy, but I won't complain. I know the classic or the OG wing eaters. They're always, oh, you got to go blue cheese, got to go blue cheese. But I don't know. There's something about a good dip of ranch with the wing that kind of just puts it over the edge for me.
Once your football playing days are finished, what's a perfect job for you, Isaac?
I think perfect job for me would be a strength and conditioning coach. I think I've spent a lot of time in the weight room, up to this point in my career, and seeing the way that those guys are able to impact other people's lives and the bond that they get to have with not only other strength coaches but the players, and the way they get to help guide them. Really, it looks like it would be something that would be extremely rewarding.
You brought up the word I was just going to use, rewarding. How rewarding is it for you personally to get a personal best in the weight room, or to see one of your teammates who maybe was struggling find their way to that personal best?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I've experienced it myself, and I've seen other people go through it. When you finally break through on a plateau of a weight, or you get that new PR that you've been chasing after. I mean, it's one of the best feelings that that's out there. Like, especially when we're not playing football right now, that's something that a lot of guys are putting a ton of work into, and it's awesome to see. But I mean, it's just it's awesome to see someone when they finally get that next step in the weight room. It really is something awesome to watch.
Oftentimes you hear about football players growing up in their house and they're playing in the basement and all that type of thing. You had 3 sisters in your house. How have they affected you as a human being and as a football player?
I like to say that I think they've made me a more patient person as I've gotten a lot older. But no, they're awesome. I mean, it was still a competitive environment, I guess. Maybe not so much playing, football, but other sports like we play soccer, basketball, stuff like that. But it was awesome growing up with them. But there was always, I still had friends in the neighborhood that we could go rough around in the front yard if we needed to.
Before we get you out of here, what's the thing you miss the most about not being able to play games?
I think it would just be to experience that environment like we talked about earlier. I mean, going out there. I mean, you do all this work all year for 12 Saturdays every year, and a huge part of those is having the fans there and having people cheering you on and that energy that we were talking about earlier. And not getting to experience that this fall, it definitely hurts a little bit, but I guess it just makes you, cherish those. It's going to make us cherish those next 12 moments we're going to get next year, even more so.
Do you think there are certain ways where this will be helpful to the ODU football program, be it getting to know the new coaching staff better, getting to know your teammates better, or just creating a new love for the game that perhaps we didn't know we all had?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's giving us time to prepare, and that's what we're doing. We're just preparing. As long as we can take advantage of these opportunities we have, I mean, we have to look at this as an opportunity instead of an obstacle. Because if we go into this, this time looking at it as, oh, woe is me, then there's no way that we'll benefit from it. But I think from what I've seen and experienced is that this team is looking at this as, okay, this is not an obstacle. This is an opportunity for us to get better. And I think we're very much taking advantage of that. And I can't wait to see what this team is going to do the next time we get to step on the field. It's going to be incredible.
And between now and then, it'll be a number of practices and a lot of wings. What number of wings in one sitting? Do you have a record, a PR there?
I think I've taken down around 100 before. But
That's work, man.
I haven't taken down that many in a while. But if I need to, if someone's going to come challenging me, then I'll step up to the plate. I'll be ready to go.
Isaac Weaver, we appreciate the time. Stay safe. Enjoy the time with your teammates and your scholastic endeavors at Old Dominion. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Isaac Weaver joining us on the latest edition of Who's Zoomin' Who, presented by Team Monarch partner, the Virginia Lottery.